Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm another knife review for you today, and today we're looking at a Ganzo, and this model is the G727M. Now this one mimics a Ontario Rat-1, all right, or Model 1 folder. But the big difference is the Rat-1 is a liner lock. I believe they have newer versions now. They're like assisted opening too, but this one integrates a fake axis lock. Okay, so basically it's an axis lock version of the Rat-1, right? That's what it's mimicking here for all the knife people out there who recognize this design already. So first let's talk about how it came. Got this from GearBest. Came in a little pouch. It's like a felt pouch, says Ganzo all over it. And a little felt pouch bag. All right, here's the box. Just got a sticker on it for, I guess, inventory purposes. There we go, G727M, GR for green. I believe they do make different versions of this. Interesting to note that I read someone complaining that they got a fake Ganzo. Seriously? There's fake Ganzos? Ganzos are fakes. They're fake versions of other knives. They tweak them a little bit. They make them, different. They make them their own, with big quotation marks there. Because they're copies of other designs. They're not counterfeits. They don't, pretend to be something that they're not, but they are direct copies. So it's fascinating to me to think that you have a company that's making, a cheaper version of something else, and then you have another company that's making an even cheaper version of the cheap version. That doesn't make any sense to me. As far as price, these are 15 bucks, a little under 15. It's like 14 and change. Now, to give you a reference, the original Rat-1s still sell for about 30 bucks, just depends on what combination, because there's tons and tons of colors, everything from pink, black, green, I think there's blue ones, obviously green, all different color combinations with blade as well as handle. So there's like black versions of things, there's combo edge versions of them. There's probably 50 different types or versions of the Rat-1 folder. But this one obviously is a little bit more limited than the original. So I saw this one in green. I know it's available in black, and I think there's a couple other colors. There might even be like a camouflage version. All right, so let's see, we don't need the box anymore. Steel on here is a 440C as claimed by the blade. And in using this, because a lot of these types of knives, I always question, you can put anything on there. You can say it's S30V, and doesn't really matter what you say, right? It's all about the performance. And in using this, I kind of believe that. I believe it's a 440C. It holds a decent edge. I'm not gonna lie, it does hold a decent edge. But you could totally tell that this axis lock is not a Benchmade axis lock. Okay, obviously most of us know Benchmade came out with this design. There's lots of Chinese companies, this is made in China, there's lots of Chinese companies that copy that design, but they can never perfect it. Benchmade has a really good system there, and even though it's copied, it's just not perfected. And in this particular case, not only is this axis lock rough, literally rough to move, but the spring is way too heavy. It takes a ton of force, even with 2 fingers, to get this down. It's almost impossible to get this closed with one hand. I mean, if I really muscle it, but that is super, super uncomfortable. Okay, so I don't do that. There's no up and down play on this, but there's tons of side to side. That's how I received it. And I did tighten it. I did not Loctite it, but I tightened the pivot down twice because it kept coming loose. Of course, I could remedy this with some Loctite, but it's just worth noting that it keeps getting this side to side play. All right, that's what allows this to really kind of swing open and close, is because there is a little bit of play there. All right, not enough to be super bothersome, but definitely for a person like me, and probably a person like you if you watch a knife review, when you feel that wiggle, it kills you. You want to get that wiggle out, but you still want to be able to like flick your knives out and stuff. So this one doesn't have as tight tolerances in the mechanical part of the knife as the original. Okay, now the original, again, is a liner lock, and this is the axis lock version. Axis lock, again, quotation marks, because that's not what this is. It's just trying to mimic it. All right, I want to come in nice and tight to show you these scales. There is a light texturing on here. All right, it's very comfortable. It's not aggressive by any means, but it's not super smooth either. It's just a nice middle ground, all right, light texturing. But I really wanted to show you up close the fit of these scales to the frame. It's very nicely done. Just as the knife is trying to mimic. Fit is very nicely done on this. The holes are cut properly. There's no slop in there or anything. So you do have some precision work. What's nice to know is that this is truly an ambidextrous knife. Okay, obviously you can see the dual thumb studs here, so it's right-handed or left-handed. But because they added the fake axis lock, it is the same feeling left-handed or right-handed. And that pocket clip, if you notice, there are holes on the other side that are drilled and tapped, so you can swap that for left-hand carry. So this would be really nice for a lefty. It's hard for lefties to find knives that are truly, truly ambidextrous. The original Rat-1 is a liner lock, okay, which although lefties are already used to using a liner lock in reverse and pulling it up as opposed to pushing it over. So yeah, as far as comfort, very comfortable. Just like the Rat-1 is a very comfortable knife, and that's the design this is. There's a little bit of a small ramp you can see there. The jimping is extremely smooth. It's not purposeful or anything, just kind of let you know where your thumb's supposed to be. All right, so we're back to the blade here. Nice universal design, a little bit of belly here. It is full flat ground, okay, so much less resistance when you're cutting into things. It is a good slicer, and as I mentioned, I do believe that this is marked 440C, and it really is 440C by how it performed for me. All right, so my conclusion on this knife is, well, you might be surprised. I'll say this. If I didn't know anything about knives and I spent 15 bucks on this thing, I'd be very happy. It's a very decent knife for $15, but that's not the case. I know what this knife is trying to be. I know what it's comparable to. And all that being said, I'm going to say pass this one up. I'm not a fan of this knife at all. If Ontario teamed up and did a collaboration with Benchmade and made a axis lock version of this knife with Benchmade's axis locks, I'd be all for that. And I would probably pay more for it. I'd pay maybe in the $40 or $50 range, depending on the steel and everything. But that's not the case here. You have a company that tried to take a little from this and a little from that. They put it together and they just didn't do it right. If they made this a liner lock version, just like the original, they might have been more successful. But, and again, because this is a Chinese-made knife, and made in the masses, quality may not be consistent. Maybe there's other people out there who have this and the axis lock it works great. Mine doesn't. Mine's extremely stiff. It's uncomfortable. On camera here, it may look like it's easy to handle, but it's really not. It took a lot to kind of break this in, and even then, it's just not all that comfortable. So they, in my opinion, fudged up the locking mechanism, which ruined the knife for me. Had that been different, obviously my feelings would be different. So on its own, yeah, it's okay. But I'm really going to tell you, because I see the whole picture here, just to pass it up, just spend the 30 bucks and get the original, and you'd be really happy with it. It's a great performing knife. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my review on this knife. I appreciate you watching as always, and hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon. Take care.